What's happening, people? And once again, welcome back to youtube.com/CubCamTV for this, another edition of Cub Reacts as we get into the Rollback reaction series. I've been loving putting this series together. One, because it means we can get very interactive with you guys on the channel. You get to vote on who we react to each week. We are going into the catalogue, into the archives, throwing it back a few years on different Afrobeats artists. And today, we're going to be talking about a legend, and that legend is, of course, WANDE Cole. I am so excited for this. Obviously, WANDE is one of the true legends of this sound, and we are going back a long way. We're going back to 2009 to kick us off today, which I'm really excited about. The first track we're going to be getting into goes by the name of You Bad alongside D-Banj. Again, it's the official video. Obviously, it's a little bit low quality purely because this came out in 2009 and YouTube has changed a lot since then. But yeah, I'm very excited to get into it. So we're going to jump right in and explore this. If you are new to the channel, do make sure you're getting involved by hitting that subscribe button on the right-hand side of the page, of course. But without further ado, let's see how this one sounds. We're going to be listening to each song for about a minute and a half, just so you're aware, rather than listening to every single tune the full way through. So we're going to get about a minute and a half taster and see how we go. Straight in with those rave synthesizers. Let's go. So, this one is fun, and I tell you what, it's fun. We did do a reaction to this on live stream, but I believe the stream did get taken down, so hopefully this is an opportunity for us to actually react to it again, so you guys can see this. We did do this on a requested live show, which is going to be returning. I'm just sorting a few things out my end, but immediately you can hear that sort of very early 2000s kind of R&B influenced sound on this one. Very electronic sounding vocals. That sort of rave synthesizer that just cuts throughout the middle does give it that kind of oomph, that body. And it's an interesting start, man. Again, that sort of euphoria sense is very much running throughout the heart of this one.
You be hunter, you continue hunting, and that hunting will lead to one thing. That one thing will lead to something.
There's a real kind of there's a real pulsating feel about the percussion on this. It does have a really kind of rolling energy, real kind of I don't know. There's a real kind of aggression I feel to a lot of the percussion on this. That sort of percussive line that's rolling on underneath. You combine that with a bass line which is quite subtle. You then have these sort of floating synthesizers above. This is a banger. Like, there's no getting away from it. At the time, I would have probably been losing my mind to this. But again, you can just hear there's a real charm about this kind of era, and the charm is definitely retained on this as a tune, man. Really, really cool to see. Also, it's a Not Just Okay upload, which I do really like.
Bad girl, you are looking for trouble. If you try me, I'ma give it to you double. Right now, I'ma take you to my room. I'ma have you screaming, it's WC. Bad girl, you are looking for trouble. If you follow me, I'ma give it to you double. And the way you put it on me, I don't need nobody to tell me. Say you bad, you want it. You bad, you want it.
I really like how the video shot as well, man. Like, obviously, taking into account the sort of time that's passed, I'm trying to work out, it's 13 years, I think, since this video came out. So obviously YouTube has changed drastically since then. The actual size of video you can upload has changed drastically. But there is such a charm about this tune, and I'm happy we've actually opened up with this one today. I didn't realise it was the same tune we reacted to on live stream, because we went through so many on those live streams. But I did enjoy this, man. Again, there's a real charm about the sort of vocal, that very sort of electronic sound reminded me kind of maybe a Neo or an Usher of that kind of period. Just that sort of vocal line that we're hearing. Those rave synthesizers are great. The sort of powerful percussion down below, a real kind of cool match of sounds on this one. Again, definitely a tune which has, I feel, stood the test of time, but not necessarily that I'd play it now, but I'd listen to it now, and then you can hear the nostalgia kind of bleeding off the tune. There we go. That one's set on 4 million views currently. Next up, we're going to get into this one. Again, a tune a lot of people did actually request when I said that we were going to put WANDE Cole up for the suggestions. So there we go. WANDE Cole with Oluefe, which I'm Olalufe, sorry, not Oluefe, Olalufe. This one, again, there is a music video, but it's not as high quality audio wise, so we are going to get into the official audio upload on this channel. Let's see how it sounds. almost like a music box intro.
You remember the girl from me. It is you that I want, that I need.
Like before this drops, this is such a sort of classic early R&B drum pattern. That sort of that sort of little run there. That's such a classic kind of R&B pattern to use. And again, you can tell there's a lot of R&B influence in what One Day Cold does. That sort of lead line, it's almost literally like listening to like a child's music box. That sort of dee doo dee doo 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 dee doo dee doo dee. I'm interested to see where this one develops because again, I've got a funny feeling this is going to pop and you're going to hear some very sort of classic early R&B flavor.
You know, you remember the girl from me. It is you that I want, that I need. Baby, you're supposed to be everything I always need. Can't believe I'm standing here, bringing out this whole story. Loving you was a fairy tale, something I would always trail.
It's exactly what I thought it was going to be. But again, it has such a charm about it. This kind of era, R&B wise, this is when you are really starting to see people get into a lot more delicate melodies. Again, utilizing the sort of bells and bells in the melodies as well. This reminds me, I'm trying to think of someone that does it. It reminds me almost maybe of like a Jay Sean in the UK, or maybe even like a Fundamental. That sort of sound where it's just very clearly R&B, but the vocal is the sort of leading element of this. Even though you've got those chiming melodies in the background, this is an interesting one, and it's so cool to explore this on One Day Cold because obviously this guy has transcended a lot of different sounds and styles over the years, but to hear this sort of part of his journey, so cool.
I can say it's okay. You're my everything. I can't even say I mean because of the love you bring. That's why I will always sing. And every time I'm weak, and every time I sleep, I know
I can see the club. I can see how the club looks. Almost getting into like a Boys to Men sort of style of harmony section here. Again, you can hear there's so many different eras and layers of R&B influence in what One Day Cold does, and I think this is a great example of how those layers all come together. Again, obviously taking into account the sort of amount of time this tune's been up online, it's not the best quality, obviously, even though the HD thing is ticked, but that's just because when this video was uploaded, it wouldn't have been the best quality. That's just how YouTube worked back in the day. But again, you can hear those elements, that bell melody, the harmony, those sort of vocal choral sections in the background. Choral sections have been around for a long time, you know. And yeah, it's another cool one, man. It does put a smile on my face because I can see the club. The Kyla and Crazy Cousins Do You Mind video, that is what I imagine the club looking like. When this tune plays. That's the sort of vibe I'm getting. But yeah, there we go. We'll move on to track number 3 then, which I am excited to do as we transition into it. This one's slightly more modern. This one from 2017. So we've gone 2009, 2012, 2017. So sort of 3-year interval, 5-year interval. And this one is alongside DJ Tunes, and it goes by the name Iskabar. Going to be interesting to see how this transitionally has changed for One Day Cold, like how he's moved forward. So there we go. Let's get into this one right about now. Immediate switch up. DJ Tunes! Surprised I haven't heard this. This is a bop.
Oh my darling, oh my darling, baby Joe, you know I be loving.
Yes.
You are gone.
Immediately, the video for this is very, very HD for 2017 as an upload. That's 5 years ago. To be fair, 2017 is when YouTube started getting good, so that's probably around the sort of time this was uploaded. This looks great. It sounds great as well. I love that sort of one drop before the main drop, that sort of and then those drums start rolling in. Really nice bounce to this. I'm loving the potency of those drums. It's really very cleanly produced tune, and when you put One Day Cold's vocals over a tune produced as cleanly as this, it's going to be a bop, isn't it? It's going to be a vibe.
Oh no, oh no, girl, you make me colo. Oh no, girl, you make me colo. Shaking the ass like colo, spreading money like colo. Even the bit they colo. Tunes that One Day Cold will show you. Iskaba, iskelebete, iskoloboto, iskaba, iskelebete, iskoloboto,
I can see why that shoulder is the move in the video. You can't keep your upper half still listening to this. That combination of very colourful percussion, very kind of potent in the way it's been processed. That sort of. You can hear that potency. You then couple that with that WANDE vocal, beautifully done. Nice bass line going on down below as well. And it does. It's a tune that makes you want to move, man, which is always cool to me. And I think it's cool to see WANDE on tunes that have this much more, I want to say, dance floor influence sort of approach, because it means you get to hear him flex a different approach vocally. And this is great. I'm loving this as a video as well. Really fun video, more than anything else. Dance routines, baby. It's what we love to see. You know what? I'll safely say that if I was to play this in a dance today, this would get a very, very good reaction. Love the energy on this when you're combining all of that sort of shuffling low-end percussion. You then double that up with what is a beautiful vocal on top from WANDE Cole. You've then got that mid-range of kind of minimal instrumentation, but the bass line down below super, super thick. And it's a great way to round off this edition of Rollback Reactions. I've thoroughly enjoyed this one, moving from very kind of old school R&B to a more sort of choral sense of R&B into the kind of earlier makings of where we are today with Afrobeats as a sound. You can hear the potency, you can hear the energy, and you can hear his sort of, I want to say, influences and influential transition as a vocalist. It's been so exciting to watch, and I have really enjoyed this. So there we go. I hope you guys have enjoyed this edition of Rollback Reactions. If you have, make sure you are getting involved in the comment section down below, letting me know what other tracks from WANDE Cole I should check out if we do a season 2. And that's it from me. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. If you have and you're new to the channel, make sure you're getting involved by hitting that subscribe button on the right hand side of the page. Of course, turning notifications on, leaving a like, leaving a comment, and all of that good stuff. And we shall see you all next time. Peace.
Sounding so good right now. But they're sounding a bright and town.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, Corp Cam TV. Stay locked.